if some kick-ass actor would have done this on the silver screen, there would be a little message at the end of the screen which says, smoking kills, smoking causes cancer, smoking is injurious to health. When it comes to car chases on the silver screen, with people riding without helmets, driving without seat belts, there's no statutory warning at the bottom of the screen which says, ride safe, stick to your lane, wear your helmet, wear your safety belt. In this episode of Motown India show, we're going to talk about one aspect of safe driving, wearing of seat belts. Stay tuned. According to a Ministry of Road Transport and Highways report released a year or so back, nearly 1.5 lakh Indians died on the roads in 2015, and the total number of accidents crossed the 5 lakh mark. By law, after March 25, 1994, manufacturers were asked to equip cars with front seat belts in India. The rule then extended to cover rear seat belts in 2002. The use of front seat belts was made compulsory in 2002. Safety experts say that by wearing front seat belt, you reduce the chances of fatal injury by 45%. Chances of moderate to fatal injury are reduced by 50%. But if you're traveling in SUV or van, then by wearing rear seat belt, chances of fatal injuries are reduced by 73%, and children of parents wearing seat belts are 92% safer. Now, coming to our dismal record on the ground, Motown India conducted a painstaking survey in different parts of New Delhi over a staggered period of 3 weeks at different times during the day, and found out that not just ordinary private car drivers, but even lawmakers, government vehicle drivers, truck drivers, bus drivers, and even ambulance drivers blatantly flouted safety belt norms. In these 3 weeks, more than 200,000 vehicles were monitored for safety belt compliance. Since safety belts are mandatory for those sitting in front, it was observed that more than 75% of those driving private cars wore their seat belts, but only 60% of co-passengers sitting next in front wore seat belts. But when it came to vehicles belonging to police, military, or other law enforcing agencies, the record was terrible. More than 80% of drivers and co-passengers did not wear seat belts. Yes, whether it was a police gypsy car or the Innova car, they did not wear seat belts. Did not someone say, charity begins at home? As for military trucks and those of paramilitary forces, they strictly do not seem to believe in seat belts. Delhi's DTC bus drivers, the ones driving the bright red and orange colored buses, well, more than 90% of them did not wear seat belts. The same went for truck drivers carrying heavy load. But the record got better as we moved on to the taxi segment. Whether it was the yellow and black taxi or those Uber, Ola or private taxis, more than 99% of the drivers wore seat belts. More than 80% of co-passengers traveling in these taxis also wore seat belts. Officers of the armed forces driving their own personal vehicles wore their seat belts. The compliance was 100%. Officers and gentlemen, as they always say. When it came to passengers seated in the rear, whether rich or middle class, more than 99% did not wear seat belts. This too is a dangerous trend, as we shall explain a little later in a video clip. Also, when it came to children, the record is sadly very terrible. In more than 75% of cases where children were being driven in cars, they were seated in front without any seat belts. Children below 10 years or so of age are not supposed to sit in front. Again, when children were in the rear seat, in more than 90% cases they were without seat belts. As far as child seats are concerned, in all the cars that carried children, not a single child seat was attached. There you go, do we really care for our children? Apart from the fact that the government has recently increased fines for violating traffic norms from mere ₹100 to thousands of rupees, the real issue is we need to wear seat belts because they make a lot of sense. And when I say seat belts, every occupant in the car needs to do so. The Motown India team dug into the archives of Volvo cars press room and got a lot of sensible information related to seat belts and child seats. When it comes to safe driving and safety related efforts, we have always felt that Volvo cars tops the chart. A few video clippings on crash tests and child seat belts are courtesy Volvo cars. Volvo Cars was the first car maker to actively test child seats in crash tests as far back as the early 1960s. And in 2016, it launched a range of 3 new child seats with a focus on design, comfort and convenience. Lotta Jacobson, adjunct professor, PhD and senior technical leader, injury prevention at Volvo Cars Safety Center in Sweden, has stated that the focus of a company is on ensuring that young children travel in the safest manner possible, depending upon their size and age. This means rearward facing up to the age of at least 3 or 4 years, and after that with child seats or booster cushions up to 140 centimeter in height. The safety benefits are unquestionable, yet many parents unwittingly allow their children to sit forward facing too early, she said. While safety is of paramount importance for car manufacturers, it is our need to change our terrible habits. We need to stay belted while driving. Till the next time, ciao.